My name is McLain Erhard, and I'm a student currently enrolled in Religion 101 with Dr. Shafiq. I also work with Dr. Shafiq in the Hickey Center for Interfaith Studies and Dialogue on the third floor of Golisano. Before taking this course, I was very much into science and was very against religion for some reason. I believed that science was the only logical way to reason and think about the afterlife, our life here on Earth, and things that happened many years ago. Like, for example, the Bible, I would never believe half of the stories in that because, science proves otherwise. But after taking this course, I realized that it's not about what's right and wrong. It's about a moral understanding of humanity and peace, and really just a deeper understanding for our natural world and the world that we live in today. And I believe that by practicing a religion, you create morals and a better understanding for the people around you, the people that you love, even the people that you dislike. It's not as much about that right or wrong thing as much as it is about doing right and knowing what's wrong and fixing what's wrong in this world and our lives. And so I think before taking this course, I didn't know what to expect. I was expecting to be underwhelmed and to just sit there and be very ignorant and say, this is just a bunch of myths. This is crazy. It can never happen. Like the flying temple in the sky in Hinduism, for example. I would never be able to believe that would have happened, or that they could believe in 300 million gods. How could we all believe so much in one thing when there's something else telling you that other thing is wrong? And I feel like after taking this course, I can better understand people of different faiths and different religions. And that's really important because I was so ignorant to others and to myself the whole time before taking this course. And now that I've taken it, and now that I've worked around people of different faiths and a lot of interfaith work, I know now why people study religion. And that is for peace within themselves and to find peace within this world. By understanding religions, we're being mindful to different religions. For example, if you work as a correctional officer, you'll need to know which prisoners are Jewish, which ones should be served kosher meals. In the medical field, if someone is born, especially in the Hinduism faith, you have many different rituals that you must perform. In law, when it comes to the medical field, in a business field, when dealing with business ethics, you need to know what you can say and what you should not say around certain people. For example, I'm not going to go to someone with a background in Islam and we're in a business meeting. I'm not going to tell him to take his hat off. That's extremely rude. And without taking this course, you really don't understand why people do the things that they do. And you're very ignorant to everything else that's going around you. And by understanding and taking the time to truly understand religion and different faiths, it becomes eye-opening. Life is completely different. You live with a whole different set of morals. You realize other people live with a different set of morals, and then in return, you change yourself to meet and mold with those different morals and different ways of understanding so that we can live in a peaceful world. We can be more mindful of those that require certain rituals or those that require a prayer at a time of need. So I think that understanding religion can be extremely important in everyday life. To take the time to study a religion is to take a step in the right direction. It is to take a step in exploring a world that you would have never explored otherwise. It's reaching out and saying, I want to help, I understand, and I'm here for you. I think that studying religion, it lets us travel to places that we wouldn't go otherwise. To study a religion, it's being more open with everything around you. It is, you're learning. Third world countries with religions that they practice, we're learning about those. Satanism, atheism, agnosticism, we're learning about all of those. And by studying all of those different religions, we can find those qualities in those religions that we wouldn't see. Media, for example, Islam, with Islamophobia and everything going around. The media depicts people of background in Islam to be terrorists and to commit extremist acts, and that's only a handful of people who practice that faith. And to generalize it like that is terrible. And if reporters and the media and the generation before us, if they were to study religion as open as we do now in our generation and our culture, we wouldn't have had those problems. We wouldn't have Islamophobia like we do now, because those parents that weren't studying religions and being mindful and open to other religions, those parents who were ignorant, they then spread that ignorance to the next generation, to their sons and daughters. And then you see that sparking in our generation. And when's that going to disappear? I don't know. Hopefully soon. And I think that by studying different religions, it's definitely a step in that right direction to getting rid of this fear of Islamophobia and just a fear of other religions because they're different from your own. How has this course affected my education? How has it affected my future? Well, for one thing, I didn't even know interfaith existed before coming to Nazareth College, and now I'm becoming a part of the interfaith program. I really want to take a step into becoming an interfaith minor, because now I know the importance of interfaith, especially in today's society, and especially as a marketing major, I can use the tools and the practices, the rituals that I learned in religion classes and apply them to modern day business ethics. For example, I can win serious brownie points if I'm in a meeting with someone who is Jewish and it's a Saturday. Well, hopefully we wouldn't schedule a business meeting on that Saturday because that's the Sabbath day. But let's just say in some far-fetched case that, someone who didn't study religion did, I would say Shabbat Shalom. And that would really impress that person, that you really took a step to understand that person's background and faith. And that's just one way that I can apply what I learned into the business world. Practicing and studying interfaith isn't all about bringing religions together and faiths together. It's about bringing everybody together. Let's bring Islam and Judaism. Let's bring these two together in a more peaceful world. It's about creating a set of morals that everyone can live by. That's what religion comes down to. That's what it is. Whether it's the 10 Commandments, the 13 Commandments, the 5 Pillars of Islam, everything is about improvement and bettering oneself in order to better the community and the natural world that we live in. And I think that that's just so awesome. Just even spirituality as a whole, to practice spirituality, that's just becoming a better person. Interfaith, it's about becoming a better person. There's too much hate in this world. It's about getting rid of the hate, finding the cause of that hate, getting rid of it, and creating peace in a world that it's hard to find otherwise. Throughout taking this course, there were many times where I was taken by surprise. For example, kosher. I've heard of it, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know a religion practiced it, let alone Judaism. I didn't know that Hinduism could believe in either 300 million gods, one god, or no gods, and they could still be a part of Hinduism, of that faith. That's awesome. The Flying Temple in Hinduism, that's as crazy as it sounds. That's a very interesting story. In Islam, I thought myself, not as much Islamophobia, but definitely I was more scared when I saw someone, a Muslim, than I was a white person on a plane. I don't know if that's because the way that media depicted them. Maybe it was the way I was raised unconsciously. I didn't know. My parents are great people. They would never raise me that way, but maybe it was just out in public the way that I viewed them. I can tell you now that's completely altered. And that's one of the ways that I was taken back by surprise, that there's such a small percentage of people practicing Islam that practice the extremist roots that terrorist groups like ISIS do.
My name is Karis Gregory, and I am known as the man around these parts. I am a Christian Catholic. That's not a thing. I'm Christian, Baptist. All right, so I was raised as a Christian all my life. So before the religion class, I really knew nothing about other religions besides Christianity. Been baptized when I was 16, so I pretty much devoted my life to Christianity. But after taking should I go?
Yeah, you can keep going.
So after taking the class, I really enjoyed Buddhism. We even got to go to a Buddhist temple where we meditated and learned about it and stuff. So there's a small part of me that wants to start getting to Buddhism to see how that is. But yeah.
I'm Jake Dennett. Music business is my major, and I don't know what religion I follow.
All right. What do you think of religion? What are your impressions on religion as a whole?
I mean, it's totally chill if people follow it. If you're into that, I don't have a problem with it at all. But most religions are cool, I guess.
Cool. Do you think that that by better understanding and studying religions, we can better cope with people who practice those religions and live in a more peaceful world?
Yeah, that sounds legit.
Brandon Sproul, physical therapy major.
All right. Now, Brandon, have you taken a religion course here at Nazareth yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. Well, what is your view on religion now?
Oh, well, let's see. Religion can be a very good motivation. Go forth and spread kindness and be friendly to others. But in some parts of the world right now, religion is being a little bit of a burden because some people are interpreting it wrong, and especially these radicals out in the Middle East. So I think right now religion should be just a little bit kept lowered right now. Otherwise, we're going to see another crusades like we've done in the past. I mean, you know how that happens. Things will blow up in a second.
Right.
But other than that, yeah, religion, it can be a good thing, and it can also be a bad thing because many wars happen due to religion, as I mentioned, the crusades. So, yeah.
Now, do you feel like the answer to preventing another crusade, I guess, or another big war, do you think that's just cutting off religion together or understanding different religions other than your own?
Definitely understanding other religions. I mean, here in the U.S., we have the First Amendment, freedom of religion. That doesn't mean crucifying someone else for being Islam. That doesn't mean hating on the Jews because they follow a different religion. That means everyone coming together, respecting everyone's beliefs, and coming together for the greater good.
When we take the time to understand and study different religions and people of different faiths, we are essentially taking a step towards creating peace, towards creating humanity. It's not about you're right, you're wrong, this is the way it is, that it can't be that way. No, it's about just living together as a community. You don't have to agree with your neighbor, you just have to live at peace with them. You just can't be hateful. If someone disagrees with you, that's fine. Leave it at that. They're allowed to. That's their right. That's their God-given right, or not God-given right, whatever they believe. So once we take down these barriers that are dividing us, these thin walls, we can just live. We won't have to deal with war, with expenses, about the US spending upwards of $500 million a year on military expenses. That's crazy. If we lived in a more peaceful world where we understood each other and where we came from, we wouldn't have to deal with things like those. And I think that once we live in a world like that, then our duty is fulfilled. Peace, love, and understanding. Interfaith. Thank you.